Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Velvet Lounge Life. I promised myself that I would get out here and show you guys the progress on all of the gardening. There's a lot of gardening going on, so unfortunately I can't show you everything, but I'll show you most, or a lot, or enough. But yeah, the leaves have pollen all over them, which is great. And look, the strawberries are coming through. I actually harvested some small strawberries from one of the raised mobile planting containers in the back. And here is the most beautiful tomato plant. It must have grown another, I'm going to say 6, 7, 8 inches just within a matter of days. It's absolutely stunning, has lots of flowers, which is something that you want because all of those flowers turn into tomatoes. Now, one of the things I do have to do is remove some of the little branches and leaves from the bottom so that more of the energy bolts up to the top. And over here, more strawberries. Lots of strawberries growing. Yum. What can you say? Just yum. And the plants are gorgeous with these beautiful magenta colored flowers and these really bright green, but with a deep hue of green. Love them. And another surprise, unfortunately, the miniature roses are pretty much finished for the season, as you can see. But their beautiful waxy green leaves are growing in abundantly. And here I have a small patch of herbs that I'm growing. These I grew pretty late, so we'll see how they do. The chives are pretty much finished, which is weird, but we enjoy them. And yes, the purple bearded irises have made their debut for the season. And this is another bleeding heart plant. I am so happy I was able to save my plant from the construction workers because they sort of annihilated it. And this, I wish I had kept the tag from when we purchased this miniature tree bush thingy years and years ago, but I don't remember what it is, but I do love the colors, the deep purples and burgundies with a hint of green. And the giant hostas are, dare I say, giant. Yeah, I love these plants. Not my husband's favorite, simply because they get so gigantic. But now that I've moved them to 5 different locations, the one big plant that it filled that entire area right there. That's how big it was. And I divided it into 5. That's one plant. There's its twin. I put them next to each other so you can see. I mean, they're so big I can't get them both in frame without walking way, way back. So not doing that right now because we have a time constraint. And here is one of the aster plants. Just look at that. It's doing so well. And this plant was so minuscule. Not minuscule anymore. And let's go look at some lavender. Smells absolutely stunning over here. I'm not getting too close because bee pollination is for real. There are, from what I can see right here, 6 different bees. Bumblebees, honeybees, and I don't even know what else is in there, but there's definitely a bee fest going on. There's actually 2 plants. It looks like one, but there's this gigantic plant and its little child plant next to it. And then we have some bearded irises that have already come and gone, but throughout the summer I planted them at different times, so I will get some that will come and go, which is a tip I guess I have for gardening. Is try to stagger some of your growing, especially for decorative items, flowers, bushes, that type of thing, because what happens is as plants fade, you don't have all of them fading at one time. Now this is a gorgeous plant, and I always call this like a blush. It reminds me of champagne. And you see this pink blush, it has this yellow highlight with these creamy white colored flowers. These are, I can't remember what this is called, azaleas, not sure, that's probably wrong. Rhododendrons, there you go. And then here we have, which is being pollinated, and I'm actually allergic to bee venom, like highly. So we'll try to avoid a visit to the hospital today. But we have these, which is this beautiful, soft, pink, magenta highlighted color. Really, really pretty. And we have a couple more of these bushes around our property that are ours. Like there's 2 over there. Let's see how these miniature roses are doing. If they are as far on the outs as the others. Well, it has several, which is shocking because I actually watered this plant less. But there's definitely some, they're still hanging in there. But even the bees are no longer pollinating these flowers. And you guys, how stunning is that? I don't know if this is coming across on the camera, but these beautiful, we have wildflowers throughout our property. One of the reasons why we have them is because I would sprinkle the seeds everywhere. And at one point I wanted our front yard just to be wild. And my husband's like, I can't do it. Like he couldn't stand it anymore. And look at these beautiful rust colored leaves on the plum tree. Let's see if we can find a plum or two. And what happens is the animals, there's one, they fall on the ground and they eat them rather quickly. The deer are, and the turkey are abundant. The bunnies are abundant. We have little chipmunks that also love to come and have a snack on occasion. So let's look at what we have going on here. We have another aster. These are going to be lilies. Lilies. Those will come in usually like July. Sometimes they definitely last until August, but they come in usually in July. More asters, and these will have a beautiful, and look, little tiny bleeding heart plants. I'm so happy that I had the common sense not to pull those up, because I can be very aggressive with my weeding. And this time, yep, common sense prevailed, and I did not pull up things that I've been trying to grow. Have you ever done that? Like, tell me down in the comments, have you ever been like, oh my God, that's a weed, and then later on you pull it up, you're like, oh my God, that wasn't a weed. But anyway, like I said, we will end up with hundreds of bearded irises by the time the season is over. And this is just, ooh, the butterfly, it landed on my arm, oh my God. But here's another giant hosta. I love these plants. They're so hardy, so abundant. Aster. So we have asters, irises. This is the yellow bearded iris. You can see its little buds. It's the only one of color in the batch, which is weird because I never planted them. So obviously the bulbs were mixed in with the purples. It happens, you guys. It's a thing. And the blueberry patch that's over here is just becoming a big blueberry patch, as it always does. And I can't wait until we can start harvesting blueberries. There were lots of flowers, so the more flowers you see on a fruiting plant, it's sort of the clue that you will have a lot of fruit. And yes, you guys, on our front porch, we are growing strawberries and tomatoes. So here at the rock garden That's what we call this little area for some reason. Our daughter named it when she was a wee Willy Wonka of a child, maybe 6, 7 years old. And she's in her 20s now. But anyway, over here we have lots of lilies growing. I am going to spray this plant after the rain with a natural bug inhibitor because there's this bug that's like red, gorgeous color, but it loves to gnaw on the leaves. Plus, it's a way to keep the deer from gnawing off of this plant. For some reason, the deer love to gnaw in this area. We don't know why. And yes, another giant hosta and lilies on the back of it. The bushes over here, I had actually moved from the front walkway area of the house, my husband and I, and when I purchased this plant originally, it was literally a single stick, just a stick that had a few leaves on it. And you guys, I purchased it from the Christmas tree shop, and that has grown into this. This plant, when we moved it, was about maybe 8 feet tall, and we chopped it down to, I believe, maybe about 1.5 feet, and you could see even the dead sticks have grown up or pushed up, but also you can see all the new bush leaves coming in, which is great. And this is over by the side of the road. It'll add some privacy when it grows back to its 8 feet height. I'm going to definitely show you guys these two bushes throughout the season. You'll be shocked at how they grow, because you think that, you know, oh my God, I cut it down so low, it's dead. You can actually cut these all the way down to the ground so that they're only maybe 3-4 inches tall, and they will rejuvenate and become as tall as a tree almost. So this is a perfect place or location for them. And here we have another one of our berry patches. These will be blackberries, which are starting to grow in. You also have these beautiful flowers, which are not poison ivy, but they're wildflowers that are mixed in, but you do need to be careful. We let this patch grow completely wild, and you do have to be careful of poison ivy, poison sumac, and poison oak. They're not anything that you really want to deal with, and thank God I've never had to deal with them yet. Hopefully never. Never say never. That's why I said yet. And over here, the box bush that we moved is doing great. It has burgundy green highlighted leaves, and it has these really bright red berries that the regular birds as well as the turkeys love. So those come out in the fall. So spring, summer, winter, and fall, we are feeding wildlife. And here we have more lilies, more bearded irises, and a little baby bearded iris plant. And you can see that this, and I'm not going to touch this because that could be poison oak. It's mimicking it, so I'll pull it out with gloves. But the hyacinth plant is pretty much done for the season. It's not dead. It's just the flowers have perished and come and gone. Here we have the ornamental, what is this one? The ornamental lily plant. And this has a beautiful color of pink and white, and a little bit of almost like a bright burgundy color in the center when you see the flowers. So hopefully it survives the deer and any other wild animals. And the cool thing is this was one plant, and now it's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plants. So very happy about that. And one of the things I do is I see grass, I just reach in there and pull it up, throw it into the yard. We do natural landscaping here and natural lawn care. And here we have more lilies, and the blanket of snow is done. And here is this beautiful, beautiful dogwood tree with its gorgeous dogwood flowers. Oh, and let me show you the butterfly bush. The butterfly bush, I wish I had shown you guys this earlier in the season, but there's still a lot of gorgeous flowers growing on it. And what happens is the flowers, they come and go. So these will fade. Oh my God, big bumblebee. These will fade and new ones will take their place. And you can see that's already happening. And I'm getting out of here because that bee is basically saying, this is my spot. And here we have impatiens growing. Just a little, well, it's not little, but a patch of them, which are really pretty, was given to me by my father-in-law's wife. And here we have more, yes, giant hostas. And I am growing right here another dogwood tree. Now this will have to be moved eventually because it's going to be too big. And let's do a quick view of this. We have potatoes. We have our collard greens and Swiss chard making an appearance finally. And this is, yep. Just have to make sure I don't have any weeds in there. Look at the potatoes. I mean, they went insane with growth. And here we have cilantro. And over here we have more Swiss chard. The collards, I'm sorry, the mustard greens. The mustard greens I have harvested from maybe 3-4 times already, and will do so again, of course, many times. And here we have, honestly, this is my variety of plants. So I have onion, I have carrots. Here we have radishes, which I have harvested. You can see some of the radish maybe down in there. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in there, I promise. You can see them, they're red. But anyway, there are definitely radishes in. Come on, why can't I just easily get to some of these radishes? It's the shadow. But yep, and I've harvested radishes twice so far. The onion is making, I think, slow progress, but we'll have to see. And also, just to let you guys know, it's almost 100 degrees out here today. It's like 97, I think. And here we have an abundance of salad greens. You could eat the flowers, you could eat the leaves. We have not eaten the stalks. I think the stalks might be a little too stocky. I am really going to thin this out after the next rain comes, which we're supposed to get rain tonight. So if we get rain tonight and no rain tomorrow, I will definitely be thinning that out pretty substantially so that things could really start puffing up even more. And this is a trumpet flower plant. Yes, it's huge. This was also grown from 2 sticks that were cuttings that I purchased from the Christmas tree shop, and they were about 12 inches long when I got them. And that was some years ago, and look at this plant. So you guys, clue, tip, hint, buy your bulbs and your plant cuttings from the Christmas tree shop if you have the opportunity to do so. And the hummingbirds and butterflies and bees love, love, love this plant, but especially the hummingbirds. Over here we have peppers, and you could see, I think, like peppers are growing on the plant. So we have everywhere you see flowers and little tiny buds, dozens of peppers are going to grow on those plants. And look at this Italian parsley, abundant. I have harvested from that maybe 3 times, and I've dried some of it as well, so I'll have to show you guys that. This strawberry perished before I could get to it. Where are you? Right there. But this has had strawberries on it that I was able to harvest. And over here we have, once again, a bunch of plants. Look how well the turnip greens are doing. And over here we have kale, and I think that might be about it. So I'll show you one more thing. Super surprise! Look at that. My orchids have budded again. And this plant has rejuvenated as far as having flowers, I'm going to say 6, 7 times. At least my other one that was about maybe 15 years old finally died completely. And we must have gotten, I'm going to say 10 growings off of that. The flowers were absolutely stunning. And I will try to remember to create a thumbnail with those flowers so you can see what they looked like. That plant did great service to us, like I said, for a very, very long time. And a lot of people don't realize that when orchids get to this stage of just having big green leaves, they're not dead. They will reproduce orchids as long as you water the plant. And I leave mine in direct sunlight. So I know some people don't, I do. And here are some of the herbs that I dried from my own garden. So you have parsley here, and yes, I've used, I've been using this stuff like almost every day. And here's some basil. Oh, I didn't show you that. There's basil growing out there as well, so I've dried some of that and used it. And these are carrots that I pickled, not from my own garden, but I figured they're here, I might as well show them to you. And I thank you guys for tuning in. And yes, I recycle jars when I pickle, you guys, or dry things. So I don't go out and buy brand new jars. There is a way to reuse your jars. And I will try to remember to attach a link down below in the description and the comments regarding pickling. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to the Velvet Lounge Life. Remember that your health is your wealth. And without your health, you have absolutely nothing. So please, please, please take care of yourselves.